So good to have everyone on. I appreciate it. And we're going to dive in and say happy Thursday and let's all get busy. So I like to do a lot of assignments on my power hours because I feel like if we spend 1 hour really focused and working, I feel like our day goes better. And I love all the power hours, but the morning ones are a little bit special to me because that's when I seem to get the most done. But today I'm going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to do a few assignments, but I got a few notes that I took from a couple of meetings I went to that I think will be beneficial to all of us. So I'm going to give you a few little pointers to try to motivate you a little bit this morning. So the first thing I want us to do, though, is wake Facebook up. If you have not already made a post on your Facebook wall, make a post now on your Facebook wall. And when you get through, put done in the chat. And if you've already done it, go ahead and put done so I know where we're at. But let's do that first. And we'll do a couple of assignments. And then I'm going to give y'all a few pointers. So everybody make a post. I do inspirational most of the time on my Facebook walls. So let's wake Facebook up with a post on our walls. Let's see, most of you've done it. That's awesome. That's the first thing I do every morning. That's the first thing I try to do every morning. Okay, the ones that have done that, let me tell you the second assignment. And it's to be, it helps us to be active and to comment on other, like our friends' post and all that. It helps the algorithms of Facebook. So the second assignment is going to be to go to your Facebook news feed and comment on 10 to 15 of your friends' posts. And don't just like it. Type some words, 2 or 3 or a sentence on your friends' post. Do about 10 or 15. So that makes you really active on Facebook right now. When you're finished with number 2, then put done in the comment. Thank you. This is just waking Facebook up and letting us be active, messing up the algorithms, and anyway. And it's also letting your friends see your name, and then they'll start seeing your post again. So waking up Facebook is very, very important. Wake up your wall and then go to your news feed and be active in that, and it helps a lot. Hi, Stacy Navarro. Stacy Navarro is on fire. She enrolled 4 new associates yesterday, and all of them had over 100 PV, I think, except for one. So that is awesome. She's on a roll. Very proud of her. So we'll wait for just a few more to get done, and then we'll go to the next. We'll wait about 2 more minutes or 3. Who all's excited about the new changes? It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. I hate change, but this looks like it's going to be a good change. Wait just a little bit and let some more get finished, and then we'll go on. Yes, enhancements. That's right, Suzanne. Not change, enhancements. It all is in how you say it. Most of the time, anyway. Okay, I was looking through my notes. I went to a meeting this last weekend, and I've got one little book that I take with me, this little book, and I've got all kinds of notes written in it from several different meetings. And I was looking through it last night, and I found all kinds of little nuggets in it. So I love to encourage and motivate. And so for the next little bit, for the next few minutes, and we'll do some more assignments too, but I want to just tell you a few things that I saw this morning. One thing, and I think Allie Carlson is the one I heard say this, but she said to throw away the if-then mentality. Like, if I didn't have a job, then I would have more time to do TruVision. If I didn't have a child to tend to, then I would do such and such. If I didn't have to go here, then I could do that. So she said throw away the if-then mentality. And so another thing she said was, if you can't work your business with a job, then more than likely you won't work it without a job. And I know everybody says, oh, but and I know you have to punch the clock, and I know a lot of us have to work another job, and I understand all of that. But it all depends on your mindset and what is important to you. How bad do you want it? And I know we say that over and over, but it is the truth. And so I thought about it depends on how important it is to you. I worked a full-time business with deadlines until I made 4-star. And I never missed a deadline, never, not one time. And I still worked my TruVision because I caught a vision. And I had the desire for it, but when I caught a vision of what I wanted and where I wanted to go and what I was going to do, then nothing could stop me. And so I went to a convention in Nashville, and I think I might have been a 2-star. Angel Fletcher was on stage, and she said, who's going to be up here with me next year? And I just decided that I was going to be. And that is whenever I felt like I really, really caught the vision of TruVision and working TruVision as my business or as a business, being successful. And so then I wrote in my notes that day, I will be on stage with Angel next year at convention. And I was there. I was the next year. But I caught the vision. I had the desire, but whenever I put desire and vision together, that's when I started arising. And another thing that Angel always said was to be unstoppable. And so that's something else that I wrote down, unstoppable. And I've got that written down a lot in several different places. And I go by that. Nothing is going to stop me. I'm not at the top yet, but I'm getting there. And so whenever I was working my business, when I had my sewing business, I mean, I had to sew a lot. And I knew how many hours I would have to put in to my deadlines. But every break that I took, I grabbed my phones. Instead of eating lunch, I grabbed my TruVision. When I got off in the shop, I ran out to the house. I got on the computer and got my phone, and I worked TruVision. And I would, and let me tell you, I didn't let my hobbies go. I let my family go. Now, I missed some parties, and I missed some trips to town, and I missed some vacations. But as far as taking care of my family and my necessities, I didn't let that go because it was important to me that be done also. But what I did, I just made room for everything. And so I may have to stay up several hours during the night, and I would sleep a couple hours, get back up and work a few hours. But it paid off. And then whenever I made 4-star, I was able to retire my custom sewing business and go full time. So right now, as a 5-star, I get up at a certain time. I'm usually up by 6:30 or 7 o'clock. I'm in the shop before 8 o'clock. But when I get up, as soon as I get up, the first thing I do is get to Facebook. I get my page wake up. I start questions that's come through the night. But I get everything done. I still have certain hours that I'm in this shop, just like I'm punching a clock. and I'm my own boss, but I stay here and I know how many hours I've got to be here. And then when everything slows down about 12, 1, then I have like from then till 4 o'clock. If I need to run to town or do whatever, I do that, but I make sure that I'm back in a timely manner because I'm pushing. Now, everybody doesn't have to do that. I'm just telling you how I've done it because I've got a vision, and I got a vision of where I want to be. And, you know, I'm not going to let anything stop me. I've got goals written down. I've got my vision board made, and it's right here in my shop. I look at it every day like I'm facing it, and every day that's what I see. And what I did to mine is I strung lights around it, and I plugged those lights in so it's bright, and I see that every single day. I leave that on. And so that's just something that I saw that Allie had said, you know, if you'll throw away the if-then mentality, then you'll be more successful, and you're more than likely, you'll be more prone to go ahead and reach for those goals, to do what you need to do, to get done what you need to get done to succeed. And you can do it. Anybody can do this. So just throw away the if-then mentality. Make it work. Put it in. Whatever you have to do it, catch a vision. Catch a vision. You may want to write that down. I had the desire, but when I caught the vision of what I could do, where I could go, that's whenever I saw myself starting to move up faster. Let me look at my notes. Take a chance. It wasn't my idea to to retire my custom sewing business. It was my husband's. That had been my life for 32 years, and I loved it. And I could not imagine not doing that. And one thing is, I love to see what I could do with my hands. I love to see what I can make. But Travis, it was ruining my health. And so when Travis saw what I could do with True Vision, then he suggested that, you know, I closed the shop because of my health. Well, that was security for me. My business was security for me in 32 years. And I worked for 5 awesome designers, but I took a chance because I believed in what I was doing, and I knew where it could take me, and I knew where my vision was. I knew what my vision was, and my vision was not sitting behind a sewing machine all day long. So I took the chance, and guess what? I've never looked back. I've never regretted it. I've never, ever wished that I was still sitting at the sewing machine. I love what I'm doing. And so I fell in love with True Vision, with building my business, with meeting new people, with helping people change their lives. And I took a chance. And when I took that chance, and I know it's scary, and don't get me wrong, I know there you have to make sure, we all have to make sure that our families are taken care of, you know, that we work, all that. I understand all that. But sometimes to move up to the next level, you have to take a chance. You have to step out on a limb. So don't be afraid to take that chance. When the time is right, you'll know it. When the time is right, take that chance. You are the only one that can make it happen for you. Nobody else can make it happen for you. And so let me tell you something that I've learned in the last 5 years is it doesn't matter how bad I want it for someone on my team. That doesn't matter. If they don't want it, then my desire for them to succeed is not gonna help them succeed. They have to want it. So you are the only one that can make it happen for you. You can have help from friends. I mean, I have friends that have helped me, we've linked arms with, and I feel like they're the reason why I've been able to move where I'm at, but I still had to make it happen for me. So you're the only one that can make it happen for you. Learn to make adjustments. And so this is one thing, you have to be coachable. And so if you think, well, I'm going to do it this way, and so you do something a certain way, and then you're into it 2 and 3 months, and you're not having the results that you want, but you see someone who's been a little bit more successful than you are, then adjust. Learn to make adjustments. Be coachable. Don't mind changing your mind the way you're thinking it should be. If you see someone that's more successful and and you're stalled, then make an adjustment. Find out what they're doing. Watch them. Ask them. I feel like everybody in our company, we've got the best relationship company-wide, and I don't know of anyone that would not help someone. So if you see someone that's more successful, ask them what they're doing, and then compare it to what you're doing and make a little adjustment. Don't be afraid to make an adjustment. Don't be afraid to say, well, my idea, it didn't work. Don't be afraid to say, I was wrong in this, and so I'm going to change it to this. Don't be scared of that, but make adjustments if you need to. Be a student. Be a student, and you must be coachable. So, no one likes a know-it-all. I mean, I love for people to be smart. I do, and know things and be able to figure things out and all that. But have you ever talked to someone and everything you said they already knew, or they could top it, or they knew a better way? Don't be a know-it-all, but be coachable, and be a student. Learn to make adjustments. That all goes together. This is one thing I feel like a lot of us do, is we compare ourselves to somebody else that's in this business or in the same business. But don't do that, because you can't compare your day one to someone else's day 1,000. Think about that. You can't compare your day one to someone else's day 1,000. You also can't compare your year one to someone else's 5-year experience. So it's a journey, and enjoy the journey. I mean, it's learn to be happy. My mom always said this. She said, I asked the Lord to help me be happy in whatever phase of life I was in, to be happy with that phase. And so that's the same way with our business. If you're in year one, you're not going to be probably where someone in their year 5 is, but be happy where you're at and enjoy the journey, because this is an awesome journey. True Vision is just amazing, but enjoy the journey and learn to be happy where you're at. This is something that I heard. I went to a convention this weekend, and the guy that was speaking, he said, remember, on making sales, little is usually better. So if you say less than if you just talk. So little is better. And this is what he said. We spend 5 minutes making a sale and 20 minutes buying it back. So think about that. We spend 5 minutes making a sale and 20 minutes buying the sale back. So what he was saying is, don't overtalk it. Don't overthink it. Don't oversell it. Little is better. One of the best answers you can give someone is, I don't know. So like if someone's, I had a girl last week. I think she tried to think of every question she could possibly think of to ask. And finally, I just started saying, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is it worked for me. I don't know that, but all I know is it worked for me. Well, guess what? When I finally started saying, I don't know, then I sold her. She was ready to get in, So one of the best answers you can give someone sometimes is, I don't know. I don't know, but it works. If you were at Summit in St. Louis, Diane Hockman used that. She, I don't know, but I just know what it did for me. When she gets all these questions, one of the best answers you can give is, I don't know. And that was told again this weekend at this convention I went to. I think I heard Sean Gibson say this on the coast in Mississippi a few months ago, but he said, you won't slide into Angel's Landing. So how many of y'all have heard of Angel's Landing in Utah? All right, when you make 3-star, you get a focus trip, and it's to Zion National Park in Utah. And if you haven't looked up Angel's Landing, please look it up. You can look it up on YouTube. It is an amazing hike in the park, and it is 2.5 miles up a mountain. And it's fun, but it's a little bit scary. I mean, you're literally hanging on the side of a mountain with chains. Sometimes there's enough room for you to put your feet and hold on to the chains. And it's amazing. And when you get to the top, it is so worth it. And I was able to do it, and it's just unbelievable. And so anyway, but when I was going to Angel's Landing, I just didn't say, well, I'm getting to Angel's Landing and just slide in. You won't, because it's like this. It's up a mountain. There's crossbacks. It takes a lot of walking. You have to exert yourself. You have to stop and rest. You have to think about how you're going to get from one spot to the other when you get on up where the chains are at. So you're not just going to slide in there because you think that I'm going to Angel's Landing. You have to think it through, and it's a journey. So it takes a little bit of time, and then you have to think it through. So you're not going to slide in to success. You're going to have to work it. You're going to have to do your best. You're going to have to put some elbow grease into it. You're going to have to put some, you're going to probably going to cry a little bit. You know, you're going to have to really put your mind, set your mind. You're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to listen to others, and you're going to have to you're going to have to catch the vision. And when you do that, you will get there. You can get there. I mean, this is an awesome journey, and you can do it. Any of us can do this, but it's not a slide in. You know, it's a journey, and you're going to have to work at it. Go back to the basics is what I like to say. And I think sometimes we make things more complicated than they really should be, because we overthink and we get to going, and then we think, you know, well, I got to do this. I got to do more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add this little bit here and this little bit there. Well, if you add and add and add and add, before long, you've got this great big thing, and it's too much. So go back to the basics. If you're stalled and you don't, you know, and you're working, and it's like you're treading water and you're not getting anywhere, then go back to the basics. And when I say that, we started out selling we call it a trial pack, but now I think we're going to go to an experience, a 7-day experience. So that's how we started. Sell someone a 7-day trial pack or a 7-day experience. Make sure you do your homework and follow up and build a relationship. Put your arm around these people. And then after the 7-day, then turn them into a 30-day or an associate and get them on board like that. But you have to go back to the basics. I mean, we love to sell the bigger package, and right now the belly blasting kit is flying off the shelf, so to speak. But if you're not making sales with that package or with whatever you're doing, try to stop, think about what you're doing, refocus, and then start over. It doesn't hurt to stop and see what you're doing and say, hey, I need to here we go back to make an adjustment. And so you can do that at any time. You can stop at any time, evaluate what you're doing, how you're working, the success that you're having, evaluate it, and then say, I'm going to make this adjustment, and make an adjustment. I wrote down this, there's a scripture that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And I saw this on a book that I was reading this morning. It said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so I started thinking about that. I was already writing notes for this Power Hour today. And so I wanted to talk about that for just a minute. So we can choose to be happy. We can choose to be positive. We can choose to have a bad day. And I know life happens, don't get me wrong, but it's all in really what you choose to make of it. So just like my mom said, she had decided that she would be happy in whatever phase of life she was in. She loved it. She had 8 children, but she loved it when her kids were little. We did a lot of camping. We baked cookies. We did a lot of home activities. We always had something going at the house. With that many kids, I mean, you had enough to do anything you wanted to do. So there was always activity, and my mother loved the activities that she had with her children, especially the small children. And this is whenever she had prayed this prayer that she would be happy with each phase of life, because she said as she saw her children start to become teenagers, she in her heart, and I know if you're a mother, you feel like this. I mean, I didn't want my babies to become teenagers, but whenever they did become teenagers, then I just adjusted my life to having teenagers. And that's what my mom did. I mean, she loved the babies. She loved the little children, but she adjusted whenever she had 5 teenagers at one time in the house. So guess what? She became a teenage mom, and she started doing activities for teenagers. She adjusted her life. Instead of us going, camping and making the cookies and doing little things like that, she adjusted the activities for her teenage kids then, her children then. And then as we began to get married and have grandchildren, then it was grandmother activities. So she adjusted for each phase. And so, but she chose to be happy in each phase of her life. Well, that's how we are. So we can, if we think that we're going to fail at something, we probably will. So if we think that we're not going to like something, we probably won't. If we think that we're going to be depressed, or if we are depressed and we just sit there and we say, "Oh God, I'm depressed," and you pet it, you pet, you know. And I know depression's real. Don't get me wrong. I'm just making a statement. So if you choose to be depressed, you're probably going to be depressed. If you choose to be unhappy or moody or grouchy, or that's probably what you're going to do. But if you think, I'm not going to be a failure, I'm going to be successful, you will be. You will be. It's all in your mind. How do you think? As a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think, I'm not going to be a failure, I'm going to be successful. If you start having a bad day and you stop and you say, hey, this has turned out, you name it, it's gone wrong today, but I'm not going to have a bad day today. I'm going to have a good day. And you change your mindset, guess what? The rest of your day will probably be a good day. If you're depressed, just say, hey, I'm not going to be depressed. Get out and do something. Do something that makes you happy. Don't be unhappy. If you're unhappy, say, change your mindset. I'm going to be happy. And more than likely, you will be what changes you. What makes you happy, successful, have a happy day, have a good day, not be depressed, put a smile on your face and be positive. That can also go, we can tie that in with our true vision. So if you're not having sales, then stop, evaluate where you're at, adjust a little bit, and choose to be happy and successful, and you'll have a different mindset, and more than likely, you'll start having sales. So it's all in how we think about it. What we think, as a man thinketh, so is he. So that was just another little nugget that I found in my books. I hope someone got a little bit out of what I talked about today. And I know this isn't me. I usually do the assignments, and we're fixing to do a blitz. But I thought, I came across these notes. I thought they were valuable. I'll tell you something else that Sean Gibson has said at a meeting, and this is the last thing I'll tell you, and then we'll do an assignment. But he said 5 things to do every day to make a difference. And so the first thing is value people. Look around you and value the people that you're around. Value life. And then the second thing is to think of ways to value people. So the first one is to value people. And then one is to think of ways to value people. And then the third one is to look for ways to value people. So, sit down and think about this. Look for ways to value people. So first of all, we're going to value people. We're going to think of ways to value people. We're going to look for ways to value people. And then he said, do things that add value to people. So you can do something that will add value to people. And then number 5, encourage others to value people. So we're going to value people. We're going to think of ways to value people. We're going to look for ways to value people, do things to add value to people, and then we're going to encourage others to value people. And he said, at the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to tell you, value people. So people are very valuable. If you look around you, you can find value in everything. You can find value, you can find good in everything that you do. Everybody that you meet, there's value in every person that you come in contact with. Look for that value, and you will be blessed, you will be happier, you will be more successful, and you'll have a better day and a better life if you learn to value people. Look for value in people. Okay, so with those nuggets, let's go to our next assignment, and I would like to do a blitz. How many knows how to do a blitz? So, and I want us to focus on selling we're going to focus on selling a 7-day trial pack or a let's focus on that. And so I'll put, if I can find it, I'll put some scripts in the chat. And what we're going to do for 15 minutes, you can go to your green dots, you can go to your group and look at members, and the first members that come up in that group will be the ones that you added to the group, or your friends. Make sure you added them. You can do it that way. You can go to your friends list and just go down. What I'm doing now is I go to my customer group and I go to the members list, and then I just click on one after another. And then when I finish my 15 minutes, I write down the last person that I messaged on from that group. And then when I start next time, I start at the her and go, and for 15 minutes, let's send messages, and I'll put some scripts that you can use. And this is what it's doing. These people you've already talked to, but just with them again. And so what I do is I try to read the conversation where I left off with them, and then I choose which of these messages would be best to send to them today. So for 15 minutes, we're just going to send messages to our people. Don't answer. And then after that, then we'll answer them. And let's see how many we can send in 15 minutes. But let me put the scripts in the chat first. Let me get them. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so the first one is for a person who has never ordered before. And that one has, let me see. Okay, you may make sure you read these. You might have to adjust the wording just a little bit. The next one is for someone that you messaged and they didn't respond. And then I think that's the two that I've got. Someone who has never ordered, someone who messaged and they didn't respond. Let me get one more. Someone who has ordered before but has fallen off. They're no longer taken. Let me look for it right here. And just adjust the wording just a little bit, make it fit you. And this is what we'll use. This is for the person who has fallen off and maybe wants to start again. Okay, so there's 3 messages that you can use. If you want to, if you have your own, that's fine. But for 15 minutes, let's see how many messages we can send out. And so it's 10:32, 10:33. So at 10:48, we'll stop and count and see how many messages we send out in 15 minutes. So let's go. And if you need something, just unmute and ask or put it in the chat. I'm going to work, so I'll try to watch the chat too. But you can just unmute and ask, and I'll try to help you if I can. If you need help, I'll be happy to help you. So let's go till 10:48. We're going to Blitz. It's okay, Tanya. I was trying to read it all. And remember, if you need anything, if you have any questions, just unmute or put it in the chat. Either one will help you. Just back where I can see it. Patty, it won't hurt to send them another message and say, "Hey, just checking to see if you're ready yet, or did you think about True Vision or something like that." It won't hurt to contact them. That's good, Alicia. That's good. Patty, Alicia said she likes to say, "Hey, I'm sorry I have gotten so busy. Are you still open to losing some weight?" Did I put I think I have a post for that too. Let me see. Ouch. Thanks everyone for being on today. We've got a good crowd on. I appreciate it. Those that show up, go up. Is that who's the iPhone secretly listening while at work? Is that Teresa Joins? I love being with everybody. Haley, tell him that I was on, let me see what's tonight. I was on Tuesday night with my hair in a towel. I had taken my shower and I didn't have time to get it brushed out and all that before the call. So I just got on with the towel on my head and I turned my camera on. I don't usually, but I did then. Okay, Eula May, that's fine. I kept up last month is whenever I started doing the blitzes, I think, or maybe month before last. But last month I kept up with how many messages I sent, and I'm doing 2 a day. I'm doing one in the morning and one in the evening, 15 minutes each. That's it. And for 15 minutes, I send messages. I don't respond, and then I respond after that. But in the month of August, I sent over 1,200 blitz messages. And I didn't keep up with how many sales I made from that, but I made quite a few. So this month I'm keeping up with how many I send and also how many sales I get from the blitzes. Just, I think it's interesting. I love numbers. So that's what I'm doing this month to see, they are working though. And I'm even having people respond to me that I blitzed 4 months ago, 4 weeks ago, sent messages to. So they may not answer today, but some of them will answer you. We got 3 more minutes. Okay, it's 10:48. So everyone, please go to your messenger and look and see how many messages you sent in the last 15 minutes. And you can put it in the chat, and I'm going to add up how many people we messaged. Awesome. 15. Let's see. I didn't send very many today. I sent 18. Wait just a minute. We're at 174. Anybody else send messages? Okay. That's okay, Christy. You can. I do them a lot of times by myself. I just make sure I do 2 a day, in the morning and in the evening. So that is 273 already in 15 minutes. That's how many messages that this group sent out. So usually when I'm by myself, and it depends on, I have to read to see where I left off with the person. So it depends on, if I have to keep changing messages or whatever. But I usually send between 20 and 40 on a 15-minute blitz. And if you do that 2 times a day, I mean, that's 40 to 80 messages to customers a day, to friends a day. So I'm trying to contact everybody I've ever put in I have 2 customer groups, everyone I've ever put in there. Also associates that have fallen off. I have an associate group that's got all of the associates in it that we've enrolled. I'm trying to contact all of them. Just going through, I have 3 Facebook accounts, and I'm trying to get through all 3 accounts, the friends list on those 3 accounts. So it's a good thing. I'm bringing quite a few back that have fallen off, and sometimes people just get busy, and so they're talking to you and they get busy and they forget to. I do it. They forget to come back and answer you, and so if you can remind them, sometimes that will get them on board. So it's a good thing to do. If you're not doing the blitzes, I suggest doing them, and I just think that we do better if we introduce them to the 7-day trial pack and then try to find out which what they need for them, customize their package, and send them what they need. A combo, if they do combo and balance, that's over 100 PV, so that would make them active, and it's only like 100 and, well, with the new, without no enrollment, so it would be like $109. I think everyone needs both of those both of those products, the True Fix, True Control, and Balance. That will give you 122 PV, and it's $109 for them to get on board. So that's an awesome package, and it would make them commission qualified if they decide to share with others. So just a little thought. So thanks everybody for being on. I appreciate it. Try to start working the blitzes into your schedule. If you don't do it already, I promise you will benefit from it. And everybody choose to be happy and choose to value people. Talk to y'all later. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.